Okay, I'm finally getting this review out. How's everyone doing? I am Cozy Reviews here with my review for Outlast Trials. Now, this review's late mostly because I've had to tone down this fucking video so much. And you're gonna see two duplicate scenes because I had to replace them quickly because they were kept getting taken down because they were either containing nudity or were just too brutal, and YouTube was like, no, you can't do that. So during this video, you're going to see two scenes specifically repeat, and it sucks, and I'm sorry about that, but it's what I had to do to get this video even out, to even talk about Outlast Trials. However, there's still going to be brutal scenes in this video. It's just not as much as I was hoping for. So, unfortunately, this is going to be a toned down review, a more tamer review of this game. I hope no one's upset about it, but I'm very excited to talk about it, and I'm really wanting to gush about this game because this game is probably easily going to be in my top 10 games for this year. And for a $40 title, that's pretty good. So let's go ahead, sit back, you guys relax, enjoy my review of Outlast Trials. So what is this game? Well, this is a $40 solo/co-op game that is a prequel to the first two games. This game is set in 1959, during the rise of the Markov Corporation, where they were taking homeless people, luring them in with the promise of food, a place to sleep, and money for work. They never specified what it was, and when they lured them to the facility, that's where they held them hostage and drilled screwdrivers into their skull. And they basically turned them into guinea pigs for their trials, hence the name Outlast Trials. And unfortunately for you, you are playing as one of those guinea pigs with a character creator, which unfortunately is not too in-depth. I kind of wish they would have went more deeper into character customization, but they make up for it with the clothing options and the room decoration and customization, which you're seeing here. But it's pretty cool. This concept is fantastic, and Red Barrel's nailed it perfectly. This game is, while not story heavy, it does have a lot of story within files that you can find around the map, which is a good way to do things. You basically get the premise within the intro cutscene of this game. You're a guinea pig, you're a test subject, and you're being forced to run through these very sadistic trials as a part of an experiment. That's pretty much the concept of this game. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. And they nailed it perfectly. The game is a great bit of fun. So let's go ahead and talk about the graphics. While graphics aren't the most important thing in the world, it is the bonus to have really good graphics. And for a $40 title, this game has some very visually stunning graphics. The game looks great. It looks great and it performs well. But graphically, it's really well done. I think it's running on Unreal Engine 4. And again, graphically, very pleasing to look at, and very fucked up with some of the gore scenes, and the gore looks really, really realistic. It's kind of, when you get used to it after a while, but when you first play, you're just like, oh, what the hell? Oh, why? Oh, no. Stuff like that. And that's always a fun feeling to have. I had that feeling when playing through Outlast 1 and Outlast 2. So it was pretty cool playing through this game and having that same experience again. Gameplay. This is what makes a game, is the gameplay, right? The gameplay is great. There's not really any sort of clunkiness to it. It's smooth, fluid. It's very reminiscent of Outlast. Let's just say that. It's that this game gives you the ability to fight back, and it's not fighting back in the sense that you think. There are different sorts of rigs, and one of them is called stun, and that's where you can throw it at an enemy and it stuns them in place. That's kind of you can also throw bricks and bottles at them. That's like the way you fight back in this game. It's still the whole premise of running and hiding and sneaking around the enemy, well, the killers and stuff, but you can still sort of fight back in this game, which makes this game stand out from the other two. It makes it feel more like, it makes it feel different enough from the first two Outlast games, but it still has that Outlast DNA. I mean, You still have to get batteries for your night vision goggles. You still find files around the map like in the first two Outlast games. It's still very reminiscent of the first two games, which, if you're a fan of Outlast, you're definitely going to love Outlast Trials. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The game is just Outlast with co-op. Speaking of the co-op was very well done, very fluid. I had no issues with disconnecting, even at launch, which I'm going to praise the shit out of this game when we get to the bugs and glitches and all that. But besides that, the game does really interesting things with the co-op. Two very interesting things that set it apart. So if you're playing this game solo, there are two things that are removed from the solo play in comparison to the co-op play. For instance, when it comes to the co-op, there's a syringe that's used for reviving, of course, and the developers knew that making this game co-op was probably going to downplay the scares a bit with your friends, so they did a unique feature that's exclusive to the co-op mode: doppelgangers. What this game does is that if you're playing with friends, the game will take either yours or your friend's character model and place it within the trial that you're in, and it will randomly spawn at any given moment. It will have your gamer tag with slight alterations, something you wouldn't notice right off the bat. You would have to take a second look at, which is pretty cool. But what's cool is that it will try to hunt you down and stab you and hurt you. So it adds that sense of tension because you don't know if that's your friend or not. And since they added it has their gamer tag with slight alterations, you won't really think twice. You see your friend's character walking towards you, be like, oh, there's my friend. Turn around for a second. He grabs you, starts laughing in your face, and starts stabbing you to death. It is a great feature, and is only available in the co-op mode, which I think is a very nice touch. But in solo, the difference with solo is that instead of the syringe, you get self-revive pills, so if you die, you can just respawn back into the trial and keep going. And the doppelganger system is not within the solo mode. But gameplay is great. I had no issues with it. It's a fun game. It's addictive. Earning new cosmetics, let me praise this for a second. This game doesn't have a single microtransaction, nor does it have a battle pass. It does have seasonal things, but you have to earn seasonal cosmetics when this game are playing through these seasonal trial events. This is how it should be done for $40 games like this, or $60 games like this. And here's the thing. If this game offered microtransactions, I'd support it, because I know that the game deserves it. The game is great. But as it stands, the way you earn cosmetics within Outlast Trials is this. You do trials, and when you beat it, you automatically get a random cosmetic, whether a room decoration or whether it be player icons or piece of clothing. When you level up, it's the same thing. You get a random cosmetic, either a room decoration or for your profile character. That's the way it should be done, and it keeps the player wanting to keep playing. It makes you want to keep going and keep grinding for different pieces of clothing, because that's what I did. And it starts to become addicting. And it's awesome. It is so cool that a game does that nowadays. Okay. Since this game doesn't really have a story, I went over it briefly. We're not going to talk about story here. Let's talk about the way this game launched. I had no bugs, no glitches, no crashes, and no server issues at the launch of a game in this decade. That is shocking. Even Baldur's Gate 3 had some issues. I had no issues with Outlast Trials. None. It ran buttery smooth, a smooth 60 frames per second. It was a breath of fresh air to have a game that doesn't launch in a complete shit state. It's amazing. It blew me away to see that Even in co-op at launch, I had no server issues. No issues with my friends disconnecting or me disconnecting. Guys, when I say I heavily enjoyed Outlast Trials, I do mean it. This is easily going to be in my runner for Game of the Year. It was great. And as an Outlast fan, I'm going to keep playing this and keep going, especially since they announced that in June they're releasing even more trials with even more killers. And by the way, this game's not PvP, it's PvE. Sorry, I should have stated that before. This is a PvE game. I'll probably put that in the title. But the game's fantastic. If you guys have yet to play it, please give it a shot. Give it a chance. I'm telling you guys, you will absolutely love Outlast Trials. And for a $40 price tag, it is definitely worth the money. It is definitely worth it. Go out and get this game. I want to give this game a very rare 10 out of 10. I had no issues with Outlast Trials, and I do think this game is one of the better ones to release this year. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and do me a favor, if you play this game, let me know, if you liked it, or if my review convinced you to maybe want to give it a shot, or if you didn't like the game. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you guys next time.